Okay, so not to be that nerd, but I was watching some YouTube videos. Sometimes I really get in my historical bag, my archaeological bag, and I'll watch like these 2-hour, 3-hour, 4-hour long videos from like the History Channel or Nat Geo, or it's this one channel, it's like Uncharted Mysteries. They be having some good ones too. The narration for that one go crazy. But through me watching these videos, I found something quite interesting. And one of the videos that I watched, it was like 50 crazy archaeological discoveries or something like that. And it got to this one discovery about these, it's called the Red Deer Cave people, and it's like bones and stuff of prehistoric humans, right? And to make a very, very long story as short as possible, as I'm watching this video, I started thinking about this question about what really is then evolution? Because it's theorized that these humans could have possibly, these Red Deer Cave people, which is, let me backtrack a little bit. These remains were found somewhere in like Southeast Asia, right? So keep that in mind, because that is very important to the plot here. There's this theory surrounding them that like these people could have been living during the same times that, you know, the earlier versions of the Homo sapiens were out and stuff like that. And then it begged the question about travel, because something about their DNA, like something or another, I can't remember it exactly, but what I can remember is the conclusion that it kind of got me to, or at least a standing point on this notion of evolution. As humans, did we really evolve, or did we adapt through the genetic mixing of other species of humans? And I ask this question because, you know, the way they teach us about evolution and, you know, of man and stuff like that in school is like you got the Proterozoic, the Mesozoic, the Thisozoic, Datazoic era, and they very much present it as if only this certain type of human lived during this certain type of time. Whereas the discovery of these Red Deer Cave people kind of insinuate travel, that migration was a thing, that in the sense that it wasn't just one form of species existing at one at a time. It very well could have been a thing where it was all of these different versions of humans, you know, different species of humans could have been coexisting at the same time. And I don't know, I thought that was just cool. I thought that was super interesting to kind of think of it in that light, because then I feel like it makes the world smaller, in the sense like it not just smaller because it increases its size, but it makes it smaller in the sense of like community, in the sense that it wasn't just strangers out here, you know what I mean? Like people knew each other, there were systems, it humanizes these prehistoric people in the sense that, oh no, they weren't just savage people that lived off the land and hunted and, you know, were nomadic and this, that, and the third. Like, no, these were people that very well had cultures and customs and trade and science, math, literature. Like, you know, when you think about the cave paintings that are found wherever they're at, because they're not just in one place, there's cave paintings from prehistoric people all over the world, and it's just like, you know, were those their museums? Also, too, in that video, it was talking about this place in Latin America, I believe it's called Cusco, I think that's how you pronounce it, and then it was essentially talking about this amazing architectural feat that the ancestors of that land, and they kind of associated with the Incan Empire. It's like these big rocks, but like the rocks are like think pyramid, but just with rocks. I mean, I guess the pyramid is rocks too, but like think pyramids, but like in Latin America basically. But it's not a pyramid, like this is just a building, a structure. And like the way it literally looks, like the way that the rocks are chiseled into each other, it shows precision and everything. But it's like, you know, archaeologists are just like, how could this have been possible? Like, what type of materials was these people using? Now, what really got me though, you know, the Incan Empire, when they're brought into the conversation, it's said, like, found in like their writings and stuff like that, that they discovered this land, and to them, they thought that that structure was ancient. So you're telling me that ancient civilization saw a structure and thought that that was ancient? Like, how old really is the earth? Or more specifically, how long have humans been inhabiting this planet, yo? When you look at any ancient civilization, they seem so much more advanced than us. And it always leaves me wondering, like, are we the savages? Not me sounding like Carrie Bradshaw. Not me sounding like Carrie Bradshaw. And I begin to wonder, but no, for real though, seriously, like, are we the savages? Because like, when you look at what they were doing with the little that they had compared to how much we have and like what little we're doing with it, it's just like, whoa, like think about it. Like, you know, I know it's a running joke on social media, like men used to go to war, but it's just like, men used to go to war, like not even to be like gender whatever about it, but like women really used to be doing their big one with the clothes and stuff like that. Or let me not say that. I was trying to be equal, you know what I'm saying, in that claim, but it's faulty nonetheless. But what I'm trying to say though is just like, we used to be so much more capable, so much more self-sustained. Whereas now, you know what I'm saying? Like, who sustains us besides God? You know, think about who is really providing the resources and all of this other stuff. Like, water used to be free and now I gotta pay for it. You know what I'm saying? Sure, harnessing electricity, they did their big one. I don't mind paying for that one. But like water? Whoa. Like food that just grows readily from the ground? Whoa, I have to pay for this? The idea of adaptation not necessarily being something that is imposed upon environmentally, but rather it is something that is willingly shared genetically. That's kind of cool. I prefer to think of evolution and adaptation like that. I feel like that's much more of a unifying type of mindset to have than just being like, oh, these people existed during this time and because of the land they adapted, you know? I'd rather than be like, oh, these people saw these people and they mixed. It just seems so much more harmonious, so much more serendipitous to the human story.